starting to realize a lot of people are very, very racist, and y'all want to put that just on white people. No, people are racist. People are really, really racist. People don't want to move forward. People don't want to live in a world, in a society where we really judge people based off of the contents of their character and not the color of their skin. People really, honestly and truly want to stay confined in their own racial groups, and they want to point the finger at the other race, and they want to blame another group of people for their problems. And and then they want to blame people within their own race for all of their problems instead of being solution oriented. I really do wish that there was a time machine, a big time machine. Every country had one for those who wanted to go back and live in 1950 or 1853, regardless of their race. I wish there was a time machine for those people to go back to that time and leave the rest of us who were trying to move forward the hell alone. I want people who are having these fantasies of getting whipped by their slave master and being called boy, and these microaggression type people. I want you to get in the time machine and go back to that time. I want all the white people who get upset when other white people date outside the race, and all the black people who get upset when black people date outside their race, and all these type of people. I want y'all to get in the time machine, and I want y'all to go back to that time and leave the rest of us the hell alone. Honestly and truly. Okay, so let's talk about this situation. So, Austin Metcalf, y'all, this really breaks my heart because I used to be a teacher in a classroom. I still teach. I'm just not in a brick and mortar classroom. I used to be a teacher. And this really breaks my heart because, if you work in any school these days, these kids off the chain. They fly at the mouth. They're talking ish on social media. A lot of the time they come to school just to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all now, they don't fight like we used to fight. They're afraid to fight because they're afraid to take a L. So they do a lot of jumping, right? So I saw a lot of that. I had a lot of students who would get into it with other students. I had a lot of students who would meet up and fight after school. I had a lot of students who like to pop bitch and talk, but like never, not one time did I think they deserve to die. Never, not one time did I like, if that would have happened, regardless of the student and how I felt about them and how much they be bumping their gums, I would have never felt like that kid deserved to die. I thought kids were off limits. Like, I thought we understood that kids are petty and that they're going to argue, and that, every little thing is just such a big deal to them. So, like, never in my wildest dreams did I think that a kid could murder another kid in cold blood, and you would have Black people justifying it just because the kid is white. So let me give y'all a little backstory for those of y'all who are not familiar with the situation. Now, I'm from Texas. Mind you, this is the worst place for the boy who did the murder. This is the worst place for him to have done that. Not only did he do it in Texas, but he did it in Frisco, which is a suburb north of Dallas, but it's not even actually a part of Dallas County. Like, this is Collin County. And for those of y'all who don't know about Frisco or Collin County, that is where all the white people who used to live in North Dallas moved during that white flight time, when Black people started moving into North Dallas and Lake Highlands and all those areas. That's where they chose to move. So it's like these communities were already created so white people could get away from Black people. Okay. So they're not used to certain things. It's just now started mixing. Now, y'all can say that that's wrong, that the white flight is wrong. And, here's the thing. A lot of the Black families that are moving there now are moving to get away from Black people. So it's the same thing. A lot of Black families that are moving to Plano, Frisco, north of Dallas, you talk to them, they be like, oh, I got to get my kids away from this. So what's the difference between them and a white person? What's the difference? So with that said, I'm sure there's been a clashing of cultures. I'm sure those white people in that area probably feel a way that they have to try to essentially integrate because it was segregated for so long, right? But I want to be very clear. When you go to these areas, Frisco, Plano, all of that, and you talk to black people who moved there before this time, like a while ago, they don't want black people moving to those areas either. I'm just keeping it all the way 1,000. We got to have an honest conversation today. Anyway, this shouldn't even be racial, but we have to be because of how people are responding to the situation. So anyway, there was a track meet, and apparently you had a boy named Karmelo Anthony. I will show him y'all later. Karmelo Anthony, who was a part of another school in the district, who went to the opposing side's tent because it was raining, I'm guessing. He went to the opposing team's tent and he sat in the tent. Now, I never ran track. I don't know how track culture is. I don't know if that was like some major offense or what. But for whatever reason, they wanted him to get out of their tent. Austin Metcalf was the one who took it upon himself to let him know, hey, you need to go. Now, am I saying he was right for doing that? I don't know, because I don't know why they wanted him to leave, to be honest. But what I will say is, if somebody is sitting under your school's tent, y'all got the people at the school got the right to tell you that they don't want you over there, regardless of if it's raining or not. They got the right to say, we don't want you here. And honestly and truly, me personally, I wouldn't even went over there. I would have tried to find some people I was cool with or go to my school's tent. I wouldn't even went over there. But he chose to go over there. They get into an argument. From what the children who were actually in the tent is saying and the brother is saying, the Austin and Karmelo got into it. Anthony pulled something out his backpack. They didn't see what it was. And he says, touch me and see what happens. So off top, this boy planning. This boy is planning. This ain't no heat of the moment, spur of the moment. You brought the knife there, which I'm a teacher. All of y'all grown people talking about it's normal for kids to walk around with pocket knives. Not at school functions. They already know they can't bring that stuff to the schoolhouse. They know. The principals talk to them about it. They already know that's grounds for expulsion. They get constantly reminded because we have so many incidents. They're constantly getting reminded that they cannot bring weapons to school. So no, I don't want to hear those excuses. He knows he's not supposed to bring a weapon to a school function and he chose to do it. And my whole thing is, if he knew he couldn't fight, then when that boy told him to get up out the tent, skedaddle, scurry, skedaddle, because you know you don't want to fight him. So get on, get on. I would have got the F on. I'm sorry, I would have. Either that or if I just feel that we gonna fight, then that's what I'm saying. This is so senseless. It should have just ended in a fight. Anyway, apparently Austin pushes him or grabs him. The stories have been mixed on that. Karmelo takes the knife and stabs him right through the heart, runs off, throws the knife in the bleachers. The school resource officer catches him, talks to him, and he asks the school resource officer, can I plead self-defense? Now, I'm going to pull up some TikToks and I'm going to respond to them. But what I will say is this. As a teacher, or a former brick and mortar school teacher, I would like to see him get put under the jail. And I would say that because if it was the other way around, if this was a white kid and he did it to a black kid, I would want him to put them under the jail. And I can't help but think, because this boy is carrying a knife around, he's clearly emotional, volatile, and hot-headed. If it wouldn't have been Austin Metcalf, it would have been somebody else's child. And for those of y'all who are racist and the race of the child just matters so much, he could have did this to another black child. And if he is so unable to control his emotions like that, eventually he was going to unalive somebody, whether it was today or 5 years from now. This is the type of person to get into an argument with his girlfriend at home and it get too heated and he unalive her. And y'all know I ain't lying. So I'm going to respond to some TikToks. Favorite.
This absolutely has to be the week of getting into people's faces and finding out what they gonna do. Because why is this child gone? Because he was getting up in this child's face.
The way she's talking about it is so demonic to me. I'm sorry. It's so demonic and hateful. She's talking about this situation like this is gossip. Getting into somebody's face and finding out, sir, he didn't, it's not like he just beat the boy up, which I'm going to argue if it was that serious, beat him up. I wouldn't have had no problem. If he felt disrespected, whoop his ass. If Karmelo was really that angry, whoop his ass. If you can't fight and you know you can't fight, scurry on. Okay? But she's talking about this like a young man didn't lose his life.
I know you guys have been familiar with this story. This is Carmelo Anthony. He's being held on $1 million bond for the unaliving of Austin Metcalf. Now, when the story had initially broke, obviously a lot of people are on the side of Metcalf because they didn't really know the full story. That was until the local news had published Anthony's statements that were submitted in the police report. Now, according to the arrest affidavit, it stated that Anthony had confessed to the incident, claiming that he was protecting himself. Now, the article goes on to say that one witness reported and told police that Metcalf had told Anthony that he would need to move out from underneath the tent, according to this affidavit. Just for reference, it was a rainy day, and Anthony, who was underneath the tent, was asked by Metcalf to get from underneath the tent while it was raining. Now, the witness went on.
The way she say while it was raining, girl, I don't hear anything that's stab worthy here. I don't hear anything that's murder word unaliving worthy. I don't hear it. I'm waiting to hear it, ma'am. With your big grown, she look like she in her 40s. I'm waiting to hear it. I don't hear it yet.
On to tell police that Anthony stated, "Touch me and see what happens." And then that's when Austin Metcalf reportedly touched Anthony, because why would you touch a person who said, "Touch me, see what happens?" After touching him to see what happens, which is just crazy work, Anthony.
No. The touch me and see what happens should have been followed up with the he touch you and you whoop his ass. Clearly, he didn't feel like he could whoop his ass. So he shouldn't even said touch me and see what happens to begin with. You should have just left the tent. No, I'm not gonna say they both was wrong. The both parties being wrong, intelligent hood genius, ended when he stabbed that boy in the heart. See, if they would have just got into a fight and this situation would have got brought to school administration and it ended in a fight and not somebody's life getting taken, I would be the teacher that be like, oh, suspend them both. Just suspend them both. They both was wrong. He murdered that boy in cold blood. So no, that's when they both being wrong stops. Karmelo just went overboard. As for Austin, don't put your hands on nobody because you never know. I'm from New York City. No, we have 1,000 stories like this. Let me tell you something. As long as I work in the schoolhouse and as many times, y'all, these kids will fight. They used to fight so much. All throughout the day, these kids fight. We used to fight. We used to fight, y'all. It's not even just then. We used to fight in school and we used to go home. I couldn't imagine one of my friends getting unalived at school and the community saying they got what they deserved or they both was wrong. Or like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, that would have been something that would have been mind-blowing to us. Thank you so much, White Town's King. Thank you. I appreciate you for the super chat. Young Karmelo is going to have to eat this charge because he can't justify bringing a knife to a track meet. That's what I was saying, White Town's King. And see, I'm coming at this from a different perspective because I used to work at school. These kids read in the student handbook, you can't bring a weapon on school premises. Not only is it in the student handbook, I'm telling y'all, they get in weekly reminders because that's how bad it is with these kids trying to sneak weapons into school, with them checking their bags. Like, the school administration is getting on there every time. Y'all bet not bring anything to the game. This is what, that's at least what I had to hear in school. These kids know, due to all these mass school unalivings, that it is absolutely unacceptable to bring a weapon to school. So all these grown people being like, oh, well, y'all know people just walk around with pocket knives. Yeah, not at the school function. You can't. And you with your big grown self, if you come to the school function with a pocket knife and they catch you, you going to jail. Hold on. I didn't finish what you were saying. Something is funny about this altercation. To me, it don't sound funny. To me, it sound like some regular stuff, y'all. To me, it sound like regular stuff. If you've ever been to a high school game, teams get into it with other teams. People are petty. People will do stuff just to antagonize another team, go on their side. And here's the thing, Karmelo could have genuinely just sat there because it was raining, and this was the first tent that's closer to me. I don't know. The way the altercation ended makes me wonder, did you want smoke? Oh, here's the thing. Yeah, intelligent hood genius Karmelo is done just off of the fact that you did this in Collin County. Did y'all see he got a $1 million bond? You did this in Collin County, Texas. In a place that's already, these people are already xenophobic. They already don't like that all these black people are moving into that suburb. This is the suburbs, y'all. This, again, for those of y'all who are just now coming in, this area basically grew out of white flight. White people trying to move further up north to get away from the black people who are moving further up north. But now the black people don't want to live around black people, so they're moving further up north to get away from black people, but everybody doing the same thing. And that's why I'm saying you can't too much just say white people are racist, because I promise you, if you go to places like Frisco, Plano, Allen, the black people who have been there for a minute, when they might have just been 1 or 2 or 3 black people in the neighborhood, they don't want black people moving there. They say the same stuff white people say. I promise you they do. I used to work in DeSoto, Texas, and a lot of the parents started moving their kids further south to like Waxahachie and Red Oak. And their thing is, oh, we want to get away. We want to get away from these kids. And they wanted to go move with the white people. But guess what? Everybody started doing the same thing. So it's like a lot of those issues that we haven't dealt with in our community are following them into those communities. And the white people are moving further and further north and further south. It is what it is. See, this is why I appreciate you on this topic. You from Texas. Yeah, I can tell y'all. So what's going on in that community right now? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of racial tension in Texas on both sides, right? On both sides, coming from all directions.
Told Metcalf, punch me and see what happens. Soon after, the witness stated that Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, at which point the affidavit continues that Anthony reportedly pulled out to the witnesses recalled was a knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before running away. After the incident, Anthony was arrested and his lawyers are claiming self-defense, which it sounds like, especially according to those witnesses.
Ma'am, where do you hear self-defense? This is so crazy to me. This is so, self-defense would have been First of all, the fact that he told me touch you and see what happens, and I'm gonna bring up a lady that talks about that in the state of Texas. If you get in somebody's face, or if you say touch me, if you say something like that, that is, you are the aggressor. In Texas, if you say something like that, let's say y'all are arguing about something and you say something like, oh, touch me and see what happens, or this and that, you are the aggressor now. The police, if y'all get into a fight, even if that person hits you first, 9 times out of 10, the police are going to take you to jail. See, that's why people need to learn the law. You need to know. Okay, guys. So my internet started tripping again, but luckily I had my backup. So hopefully it don't go out again, but I have my backup, hotspot. I told y'all around this time the internet wants to go out. So yes, in the state of Texas, as soon as you try to tell somebody, "Oh, touch me," or you're the one who gets up in their face, that is considered an assault. So this lady on here that was saying it was self-defense, or no, in the eyes of Texas law, they're not going to look at it that way. Give me 1 second. Let me pull the video back up. Thank you so much, Intelligent Hood Genius. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Y'all. Okay, let me share this screen again.
Is being held on $1 million bond for the unaliving of Austin Metcalf. Now, when the story had initially broke, obviously a lot of people are on the side of Metcalf because they didn't really know the full story. That was until the local news had published Anthony's statements that were submitted in the police report. Now, according to the arrest affidavit, lawyers are claiming self-defense, which it sounds like, especially according to those witnesses, and they're asking the judge to lower his $1 million bond. Anthony is being held in the Collin County Jail on a 7-digit bond, which is about $1 million, and he's being charged with first-degree unaliving. Now, after briefly meeting,
Guys, y'all put a 1 in the chat real quick before I can continue. If everything is good. Like, is there a lag? Can y'all hear me? Is everything good? Okay, let's continue.
with his client, Carmelo Anthony, his attorney stated that I know that my client said it was self defense, and I don't have any reason to disbelieve that, but I need to develop facts, talk to people, and figure out what's going on before I make a statement about what I.
This is another thing I'm going to say. I am a principled person. Okay, is it good? Is there a lag? Okay, I'm a principled person. So when that police officer unalived Michael Brown and he didn't have a weapon, I stood on the side of Michael Brown. When that police officer unalived Philando Castile, I stood on the side of Philando Castile. And even though I don't agree with, even though I didn't necessarily like how Derek Floyd was living, was that his name, Derek Floyd? Y'all know who I'm talking about. No, the police officer was Derek Chauvin. Y'all know the man. I hate that I forgot his name. Floyd. There's just so many of them. I stood on the side of the victim. So in terms of unarmed people, unaliving unarmed people, armed people, unaliving armed people, I'm consistent. That's the problem with a lot of folks. They don't have any consistency. It depends on the race of the person, how you feel. I've been consistent for years. So nobody's going to try to make me feel like I don't like black people or I hate black people or I'm just trying to take up for the white man, because I've been consistent. I did a couple lives ago when Ben Shapiro was out here saying that Donald Trump should pardon Derek Chauvin for George Floyd. That's his name, George Floyd. I said he was tripping and that Derek Chauvin needs to stay in jail. I'm consistent. I hate that you're late. That's okay. I still got a long way to go. Okay, y'all, thank you for coming though, Jamal. Y'all like the live, please. So I'm consistent. So nobody's going to tell me anything or try to make me feel bad because y'all feel like this time I'm not standing for with black people. No, 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 no. I'm going to stand for right every single time, whether the victim is white or the victim is black. I'm consistent. That's the difference between me and a lot of people out here. Principle, baby, principle. Principle don't have no color, no race, and it's not ego based. That was bars. Okay.
I think happened. I don't have any reason to think it wasn't self defense at this time. Anthony's family has shared a support fund on GiveSendGo.com, and they've raised about $84,000 to their $100,000 goal. And I'm not here to question why Austin Metcalf decided to put his hands on another child because, again, he's gone and he can't answer those questions. But let this be a testament to tell you that you do not have the right to touch somebody or enter into their personal spaces.
Okay, that's true. You don't have the right to touch somebody or enter into their personal space. But ma'am, here's the reality check. Here are the facts of the matter. These kids fight, and they fight a lot. Again, I'm telling y'all as a person who worked in Texas, I worked at a predominantly black school. They fight all the time. It'll be like 6 fights all the time. What if in every single one of those fights, one of the people involved in the fight chose to unalive the other student? A lot of these kids would be unalived. A lot of y'all would be crying in behind your child. Some of these same people who are sitting up and acting like Austin Metcalf deserved to die because he pushed Karmelo Anthony. Y'all got kids that go to school and be throwing hands all the time. Stop playing with me. I worked in the school system. I already know how these kids do. And here's the thing about being short-sighted and racist, because ultimately, the only reason why we're even having this conversation is because of race. Because to me, this seems like a pretty open and shut case to me, right? The only reason why we're having this conversation is because of race. But you got to think about it like this. Get about your feelings. If Karmelo Anthony walks, and he walks because the defense of it was self-defense works, what precedent or message does that send to other kids? We already have a problem with them bringing weapons to school. I know we was going on lockdown every week. This sets a precedent that you can bring a weapon to the schoolhouse or a school event. You can get into an argument. You can murder the person that you're getting into the argument with. And all you have to do is say it's self-defense and walk. And do y'all know kids are that simple-minded that they're going to think just like that? Oh, shoot. I'm just going to say I was defending myself over something that could have really just been a fight and y'all went home. And as a result of this, it's not going to be only white children getting unalive. It's going to be black children getting unalive too. See, but when you're racist, you're blind and you don't think about stuff like that, do you? Now you're going to have a conversation with your kid every time they leave out the door. Please don't get into an argument with somebody. Don't say anything to anybody. Don't kids going to be in school feeling like they got to walk on eggshells. I didn't donate to Carmelo Anthony either. Wrong is wrong. I think both was wrong. Carmelo was just much wronger, caused a death. Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier, Jamal. Wrong, both was wrong. For me, stopped when Carmelo stabbed that boy in the heart. If this would have been a situation that happened on school grounds, 9 times out of 10, how school administration would have handled it is they both would have got suspended. Regardless of who said what or who started what, both of them would have got suspended. Most of the time, the school administrator is going to handle it like equally, like a zero tolerance kind of thing. If they would have just threw hands, both of them would have got suspended and they would have been suspended from participating in UIL. That's normally how it goes. Black men aren't entering college as much because not only is it expensive, facts, but it feels like an environment that's hostile to straight black men while at the same time still not guaranteed a job. I mean, I can see a point. I can see what you're saying with all of that. Have they pulled the cell phone records and social media interactions? Because it was beef somewhere between the two of them. It just seems premeditated. I'm not sure. And I don't want to answer that because I've seen a lot of stuff floating around on social media that I don't know whether or not it's real or it's fake. Y'all understand? So, for example, I saw oh my God, Tatiana. Hold on, y'all. Get the keys and let him out. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, anyway. People been bringing weapons to school since I don't know when. Yeah, but it's kind of like now it's a little bit of a bigger deal. Hold on. Let me try something. Now it's a little bit more of a bigger deal because of all the school violence that's on TV. So people are more sensitive to it. It's more noticeable. Like the school administration is more on alert. And for reasons like this is why they don't want the kids bringing weapons to school. Because of this, these kids get overly emotional over little bitty stuff, and boom, next thing you know, a situation that was supposed to end in a fight ends in a murder. Oh, okay. Back to what I was saying about this. So I've seen a picture of Carmelo with two, he has some like some guns. I don't even know what kind of guns they were. They were big. So I seen his face in it. But again, like here's the thing with AI, you don't know what's real or not. I'm waiting on everything to come out. So he had these pictures with these guns. So honestly and truly, they don't have anything to do with this particular situation. Honestly. They also showed a picture of Austin Metcalf with some guns when he was hunting with his family. Again, that don't have anything to do with this situation. What people are trying to do on behalf of Carmelo Anthony is they're trying to paint a picture like he was afraid for his life. I even saw the picture that I know for a fact to be fake because they didn't even put the boy's face in the picture of Austin Metcalf saying, "Oh, I got there was like some gun. There was like, I don't know if I can say it. Some guns. I've been saying it. Guns in the picture, and there was a caption, "I'll be ready for these monkeys" or something like that. Which again, his face wasn't in the picture. Anybody can easily make a post with the picture and say this person posted this to try to incite anger and hate. And that doesn't even make sense. They were saying he posted this right before the track meet, which, come on now, that's too convenient. And if that was the case, why didn't he have those guns at the track meet ready for Karmelo when they got into it? So he had no weapons on him. So even then, that's irrelevant. If they are trying to paint a picture that Carmelo Anthony feared for his life, that and Austin Metcalf was the reason why he feared for his life, all you were doing is helping the prosecution prove that this was a premeditated murder, that he specifically brought this knife to school or to the school event for Austin Metcalf. See, that's what happens when you dumb and don't think and you just be going off of emotion. You are proving a premeditated murder by trying to paint a picture before all this even popped off. You better off just trying to let the boy say it was self-defense in the heat of the moment and acting like there was no history between them. People been bringing weapons to school since I don't know when. In NYC, we have metal detectors in our school. Karmelo didn't understand the law. That's why he made that mistake. I agree with you when he didn't understand. Yeah, he probably didn't understand the law. Honestly and truly, the way information gets circulated around, he probably really thought we can get into it. I can tell this boy hit me, and as long as he hits me first, I can murder him. And I'm going to get away with it. It's going to be like a stand your ground law, but that's not how it works in Texas. This ain't Florida. Even then, I'm not even sure if it works that exact way in Florida. I deleted my comment because we're not on that topic now. Okay. In Chicago, they had metal detectors when I was in grammar school back in the 90s. Yeah, we had metal detectors when I was in school. They were still bringing them to school. We had a couple incidents last school year where the guns were actually like, we knew for a fact they were on campus, but the kids were bringing them to school on a daily basis. Yeah, this woman just made me sick to my stomach. And again, y'all don't listen to these people who don't know anything about the law. Again, I'm from Texas. If anybody thinks Carmelo Anthony is walking, you're crazy. If you think it was self-defense is going to be good enough in Texas, you're out of your mind. He's cooked. The best thing he can do is take that plea deal when they offer it to him. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me see what some other people were saying. Oh, I'm going to pull up this man. He got on my nerves.
In a world where George Zimmerman walked free for going out of his way to kill an unarmed innocent black teen for walking in a neighborhood, when Curtis Reeves walked free for shooting someone because
George Zimmerman should have been put under the jail. Let me be clear. See, I'm principled. George Zimmerman should have been put under the jail.
they threw popcorn on him during an argument, when Daniel Perry walked free for going out of his way to kill an unarmed homeless man, when Kyle Rittenhouse walked free for going out of his way to cross state lines to shoot protesters. I refuse to have sympathy for a white kid who started a fight that he couldn't finish.
What does that? This is the problem with folks. Y'all so damn traumatized that you can't even look at situations case by case by case. Austin Metcalf didn't have anything to do with those other cases and situations. This was a child. Let's be clear. This was a child. arguing with another child. And in any normal situation or circumstance, they would have fought and went home. You being a grown man, look like he about in his 30s, and you have hatred, or at the very least, you just don't care because of the child's race, that lets me know we're too far gone. This is disgusting.
Keep your hands to yourself. This is an unfortunate.
And again, this whole keep your hands to yourself. Y'all kids ain't keeping their hands to y'allself. They fighting at school. They fighting. Black kids fighting at school. Latino kids fighting at school. The white kids fighting at school. They fighting at school. It shouldn't result in murder. Very disgusting. But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell y'all the real problem. And I told y'all before, I had to stop being friends with a woman. And here's the thing. I love Black women. My good homegirls, my good friends are Black women. But they don't say certain stuff. Matter of fact, it ain't even that they don't say certain stuff around me. They genuinely just don't think like this. I had to quit being friends with a Black woman because she made some the remarks, the hateful. It ain't even just jokes. Like, it's just, I can understand jokes saying white people can't cook and stuff like that. Like, it's funny. Hateful stuff, disgusting stuff, and then you say that, and then now you throwing shot at biracial people. Ma'am, here's the problem. You're so used to being casually racist and people letting you get away with it because you're Black that you think that I'm still going to be friends with you. Bitch, you're crazy. And I had to end the friendship with her because we're going to end up getting into it. Because, ma'am, no, I'm not the one. Whatever hurt, whatever person, mixed race person did, they don't got nothing to do with. Don't come over here with that. Don't come over here with that. Just like I don't let white people sit up and talk bad about Black people. White people don't even try it. White people know. They don't even try it. They don't say nothing about bad about Black people in front of me. These Black people be so childish. Like, act reasonable. Adult American, yes, like be an adult. This is petty. Now, Mariah, this might be off topic. Daniel Penny definitely got off. If that was me, they would have charged me with murder. Daniel Penny self-defense was bogus as Karmelo Anthony using self-defense. I honestly and truly, I don't know enough about the case. I feel like that's something that, like, is that a situation that happened on a subway? I never looked into that case. I think by the time that happened, I was just so fatigued by all the other cases that I was like, no, you feel me? But I'm pretty even across the board, right? And I feel like none of that applies to this situation right here. You know, come on now.
Case of self-defense, and I give my condolences to all parties. It's weird that y'all are using.
I give my condolences after you just said I don't care because of all these other situations happen. Then you give your condolences. Stop being fake. Be real. If you're hateful, be hateful. Stop being fake. I can't stand an old fake person. Be hateful.
This tragedy to be racist, completely tarnishing the fact that a kid lost his life. To the point where Austin Metcalf's own father had to come out and say that y'all need to stop making this a race issue. In a world where George Zimmerman walked free for going out of his way to kill an unarmed innocent Black teen for walking in the neighborhood, when Curtis Reeves walked free for going out of his way to cross state finish. Keep your hands to yourself. This is an unfortunate case of self-defense, and I give my condolences to all parties. It's weird that y'all are using this tragedy to be racist, completely tarnishing the fact that a kid lost.
Wow. So y'all hear what he said? Did y'all hear what he said at the beginning? So he just used racial incidences, then said he can't care. Then now at the end, he's saying everybody else is being racist. Everybody else is making this a racial issue. When he specifically is saying he doesn't care because the victim was white. And because this happens to Black people all the time. Do y'all hear the craziness. That's why I had to listen to it again, because I'm like, hold on, that the ending part don't make sense. It's not matching with what he said at the beginning. Can't make this up. Only broke redneck white people really talk racist about blacks, but educated blacks are most hostile, it seems. Man, let me tell you something. I will meet black people that live in the hood that are least and have like the least opportunities, who are less racist than educated black people. I'm just keeping it real. A lot of the times I be hearing the stuff educated black people say about them having a lack of opportunity and them not having this, like they be so bitter about their life. And I'm like, but like you went to a predominantly white university and you worked at a white law firm or whatever, or you're making $200,000 a year. How is your life difficult because of white people? Why are you so mad? That they are the most hateful to whites, which is understandable up to an extent, and most people look at that way too. I think a lot of it be like them pissed off because on the job a white person got a promotion over them or something. It really be that petty. It be that kind of petty. It don't really be about nothing. Somebody who they felt like shouldn't have got a promotion over them got a promotion over them. When I'm telling y'all the majority of my adult life, I have worked for people of color. Have I had a white boss before? I'm trying to remember a time when I had a white boss or a white person that was over me. And what I can honestly say is BS comes with working for people of color too. And working under black people too. So this is not about right or wrong or justified or not. It's about the law. There's people in prison to this day for justified deaths, but didn't follow the proper protocol. And you know what? White Town's King, that's exactly why Karmelo Anthony is not going to get off. Because the law, you know, and you're right. Let's take the feelings out of it. Let's take away right or wrong, whether it's justified or not. Under Texas Penal Code, that boy gonna be under the jail if he don't take a plea deal. He gonna be under the jail. And it's as simple as that. And people are gonna be mad about it, but it is what it is. He did it in the worst county. Well, probably not the worst, but one of the worst. You did this in Collin County, Texas. Are you crazy? White female bosses are the best. So I've never worked for a white female boss. My best boss that I ever had was a black man. Hands down. And I'm not saying all black male bosses are good, because I worked for one that was like, but my best boss that I ever, you know what? The principal is the boss that I ever had was a black man. And right up under him, my assistant principal was a Palestinian woman. And she was amazing. That combo together, y'all, I had a bomb school year. The worst boss that I ever had was a black woman. Oh, she was terrible. But I've also had black bosses that were women who were cool. Okay, let's see what she says.
You mad? What did Ply say? You want to auger? For the life of me, I don't understand why people are so bothered.
For the life of me, I don't understand why you're laughing about this. A boy lost his life. What is funny?
That people feel like they want.
Do y'all see how demonic some people are? What is funny? Whichever side you fall on, whether you felt like this is self-defense or not, whether you're on Karmelo's side or not, this is not funny. It's not a laughing matter. You immature bitch.
To support the Anthony family. Why do you guys think that he doesn't deserve to have, or his family doesn't deserve to raise money to make sure that he has a good defense team? I think we all, including people who want him to rot in jail, feel like he's gonna need it.
Yeah, he is gonna need it. I actually don't mind people giving him money because first of all, it's their money to give, so I don't got no say. I think the spirit in which you give it matters. Honestly, I could even see somebody who was like on a Christian forgiving tip saying, I'm going to give money to help him for his defense, even though I don't agree with it, even though I think he was wrong, right? So, like, you can't be mad at people for giving their money where they want to give their money to. I think people are more mad at the support, at them acting like he was not like this is self-defense or he innocent or that was a reasonable reaction to what should have ended in a fight. That's what's probably pissing people off more, and the money is just a visual representation of that support. Y'all understand?
He's gonna need it. So it's like, why would you guys be upset about that? And I'm so happy that all of the opinions of, are you kidding me? This is sick. This is ridiculous. Oh, they always come together on this or that. I thought you guys said that Black people don't know how to stick together. Well, I guess we know how to stick together on.
We not coming together on this. You know, I don't know why she laughing at about this and trying to dunk on Black people. There's a good amount of Black people. This is a split as far as I'm concerned. Which I don't understand why you split, because switch Austin Metcalf out and put your child in the situation. And I promise you there will be no support for Karmelo Anthony. But no, we not all rocking with this. We're not all making excuses. We're not all saying it was self-defense. So no, we're not unified on this. You got certain Black people, probably a good amount, who are willing to donate to the cause. You got certain Black people who are in the comments, like, who's this? Charms World over here on TikTok talking about free Mello. This is a Black woman. You got them, and then you got a lot of us that ain't having it. We ain't going, and we going with the right is right and wrong is wrong. So no, we're not unified on this. So I don't know why she's trying to dunk on white people using the entire Black community, because no, the entire Black community ain't going, sis. With your goofy ass.
Something like, it's crazy. It's just mind-boggling to me why you would care. I think that Metcalf family, the parents are divorced, they're not together. I think they've raised almost $1 million, which they should, but I think they have one GoFundMe for the mom and one GoFundMe for the dad, which is cool. But it's like, why are you guys so upset? I think Kyle Rittenhouse raised almost $1 million. I think Daniel Penny raised.
Again, here's the problem. That's the real problem. Every time they bring up all these other cases that don't have anything to do about it, you are using your anger about situations that don't have anything to do with this to make a mockery of the death of this child. No empathy, no sympathy, no understanding. For people like this is simply an opportunity to get revenge on white people. Period. And it's evil. I hate her voice and her energy. She's obviously college indoctrinated. I mean, educated. There's no soul there. There's no soul there. Nothing. Just everything is funny. Everything's a joke, and this is all politicized. This is everything to fuel tensions between the race. She don't see the humanity of the victim because she's so racist. And let me tell y'all something. When I was a school teacher, again, I told you I taught at an all-Black school. I was one of those teachers. People used to be. Now, first of all, let me say this. Nobody's going to tell me nothing because I knew how much I did for those kids. I had so many young Black athletes, and if I saw they were trying, I would stay with them after school. I would do tutoring with them after school. I would give them opportunities to turn in their homework, even though they might have went an entire 6 weeks and not have turned in a single assignment, I would still work with those brothers so they didn't lose a scholarship opportunity or something like that. I had a party at the end of my fall semester for my kids who acted right. And again, majority of them were black kids. And my cousin, Derek, the one who he trains the fighters, Ryan Garcia and them trainer, came and he dropped thousands on those kids. I spent $1,500. Them kids left with Xbox cards, Amazon cards, Nike cards, ear pods, spray paint, what is that? Spray ground backpacks. They left with everybody left with something. Do you hear me? All my kids everybody left with something. Okay? They didn't leave with less than $50 worth of stuff. Some kids was leaving with $100, $200 worth of stuff. Okay, so I said that to say nobody's gonna make me feel guilty about saying these type of kids like Karmelo Anthony, you gotta lock them up and throw away the key. Why? Because if not, again, he would have been in our own community doing this. He would have been in our own community doing it. I used to hate coming to class and my kids and my boys who were trying to act right and do the right thing. You got to come to school and try to focus on doing your own schoolwork and trying to graduate. But then on top of that, you got to kind of walk around kind of hard because it's certain boys at the school that's always bringing weapons on campus and trying to flex and trying to be hard. I get kicked out of high school and finish it in the summer. I hated school. It was spiritually taxing and draining. She's still live. I'm 50 minutes behind. Yes, I'm still live. Okay, let's continue. This is the demon right here.
Over $1 million. I think George Zimmerman raised money, I mean, like to help them, right? To get a good defense team to represent them on their cases. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you guys say because
I ain't donate money to none of them either. Okay. Again, I've always fallen on the side of right is right and wrong is wrong. Again, I actually don't feel no type of way about people donating to his defense. He is gonna need it, y'all. He gonna need it. Because at best, guys, he might be able to walk with just 10 years. He might. I don't see it happening though. I don't see it happening at all. They might give him a plea deal. They might not. Let's see what she says.
I got some ignorant on my page that are now going back to my other videos and trying to find my children and saying that they're mutts and you've been with the white man and the whole bit. And what I find interesting about that is that group of
this is why as a biracial person, I don't care who you are, black or white, watch how you talk when you talk to me. Because everything is cool until you feel like I'm not on your side about a certain thing. Then you want to start acting funny. Then all of a sudden I'm this, I'm that, whoop-de-whoop. No. So watch how you talk when you talk to me. Because I'm cool and we friends until I make you mad.
Ignorant. You guys are just psychopaths at this point. These are the same ones that are leaving comments saying, well, he can't be a bully no more with butterfly, like not butterfly wings, but with the dove flying off because, this boy has passed away. We're talking about Austin here. God see you.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord see you, and you will be judged for every idle word you have said, what you have spoken, and what you have typed and left messages. And that's why those comments are there. They're there because you're going to have to give an account for those things. Saying negative things about my children just because they're biracial. Well, y'all are hypocrites because y'all are the same ones that in the black community you call biracial children black. Well, they black. Just because they mix, they black. But now he's a mutt. That's what you call them.
It's always that. It's always we black until we say something that somebody don't like, then we not black, or we must. I told y'all before, I just let people call me. I don't care because you won't call me how you feel that day. It's not that important to me. I know who I am, right? But you see, it's like even the biracial folks ain't safe when you over here moving in hate.
Just wanted to say that you guys are literally psychopaths and it's not right. But you know that though. And I think right now we're dealing with a lot of grown adult men because it's the adults that are leaving these comments now. I'm not seeing no teenagers leaving crazy comments like that. I'm seeing the grown men that want so badly to see.
The teenagers are going to be less likely to leave comments like this because they probably sitting up like, dang, I just got into a fight with such and such last week. That could have been me. The teenagers probably walking around school scared to get into it with somebody. For real.
A white man 6 feet under the ground, they don't care if he's a teenager. They don't care who did it. They don't care if he's right or wrong. They just want him underground because that's what they want. So with that being said, shame on you. That's a lot of pent up hate and aggression towards the white man. You hate him so bad that you would be glad to see another father suffer the loss of his child, maybe because most of y'all ain't in y'all children's life.
Oh, damn.
You don't like
Damn.
that, do you?
Okay, she ain't have to take that dig. She ain't have to take that dig. She ain't have to say that. She went too far. She went too far. She ain't have to say that. Because I mean, honestly and truly, we don't know. We don't know who's leaving these comments in their personal life, right? I guess if we go by statistics, she's right. But I mean, she ain't have to say that to make her point. I'm gonna say that. She probably feel like she want to get her get backs because they've been talking about her kids.
Have that problem. Okay? I don't have that issue at all. So yeah, I saw those comments, and everybody that's leaving comments, this is the thing. I'm not against Karmelo. I'm not against him. He's still a teenager that made a terrible decision that he has to live with the rest of his life. Am I pissed at him? Yes. But everyone's saying that it's self-defense. If this isn't self-defense, he could have used pepper spray. He could have used a less lethal,
Yeah, like bring some pepper spray. Why you got to bring a knife? And then he got him right in the heart. Like you gonna feel this. You gonna die. Like it was very much. He gave that boy no chance to live. Why you ain't slice his face or something?
Form of defense or weapon. You get what I'm saying? He didn't have to use a deadly weapon.
Just like when those police be unaliving those unarmed black men, and y'all be like, well, he at least could have shot him in the leg. Don't y'all be saying that? Don't y'all be saying that? Okay. Which I don't disagree with that. I actually agree with that.
Guys, that's the whole point. This baby did not deserve to pass away and die over this.
Over that, no.
That's why it's so frustrating. I can understand if he was defending himself. Okay, fine. I mean, a lot of stuff is trying to come out. I think it's more so toward the left side where they're pushing the narrative that he was bullied so bad he just couldn't help himself. He just had to do this. And I beg to differ. I don't agree with that. I don't believe that. But
again, if bullying is a self-defense, then any kid that walks up and does mass unalivings at school, now he's got a defense. Now he's justified because he was getting bullied. Bullying cannot be the defense, y'all, because it's so subjective. Even when I'm listening to grown men be like, Karmelo was getting bullied because he told him to move out their tent. He was bullying him. I'm like, that's subjective because I don't hear bullying at all. To me, that don't sound like bullying. Maybe y'all just, not y'all that I'm talking to right now, but maybe the people who are saying this, maybe you're just emotionally weak. Because even I don't hear no bullying going on. I don't know. Do y'all hear it? I don't hear no bullying. Especially when I'm a person that can defend myself. No, you can't bully me. You have to be ruthless at that age. And in this world, I've been bullied my whole life. I had to at a group of older dudes. Wow. And I mean, I'm not saying there have been certain instances that have happened. Y'all, my camera's about to die. There have been certain things that have went on at school where I have been like, wow, y'all could have really unalived this kid. For example, there was a situation at the end of last school year where I had a student get jumped by 3 boys, and one of the boys was stomping him out so bad that he started seizing, and they had to take him out in a stretcher. And in those situations like that, if it's a situation where you got 3 or 4 or 5 up against one, and especially when it's boys, I actually could see a kid pulling out a weapon. Now, again, when I say pulling out a weapon, it shouldn't be a weapon that you shouldn't have had at school to begin with. I could see that being a situation where a kid pull a pencil and stab somebody in the moment. You get what I'm trying to say? Because I remember a situation a few years ago where a girl got jumped in the bathroom by 3 kids and they unalived her. And I used to tell my kids, because that's all they do now is jump, y'all. They don't do one-on-one fighting. I used to tell my kids, y'all need to quit doing that because y'all could unalive somebody. But in this situation, I don't see a case for self-defense. I don't agree with it. Me personally, I would like to see Karmelo Anthony be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And what do I mean by that? I think for his offense, first-degree murder, he could get life in prison. I would like to see that. And I know that might sound wrong, but if Austin Metcalf did it and it was the other way around, I would say that too. Why? Because these kids are already off the chain at school and they need to make an example. Nobody needs to look at this situation and feel like I might have a defense or I might get the bare minimum time. No, none of these young minds need to look at that and feel like they're going to walk free if they do something like that. No. They need to make an example of him. Ninjas is only fighting in jail. He'll get 15 at most. It depends. If they offer him a plea deal, probably. If they take it to trial, he could get life in jail. It's murder in the first degree. So his best bet is to take a plea deal. If they offer it to him, they don't have to offer a plea deal. And as much emotions as this has stirred up in the community, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't offer him one. They already gave him $1 million bond. So we shall see what happens, guys. With that said, it has been real. Thank y'all for everybody that showed up. My camera's about to die. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all tomorrow here at the lunch hour. Goodbye.